Episode 40. Today we talk about modern choirs, the adolescent male voice, and singing under an MRI scanner.
Where's my diamonds?
Okay. Hey man.
Hey man.
So we got some music today, hence the accents.
Yeah. Why? Why do we do that?
I feel like it's the right thing to do.
For episode 40?
The episode 40.
Synonymous with fake American accents. Excellent. Really
Keep
great,
up.
mate. Really good. So we got a tune from Keith Washo,
Yeah.
which we featured before, but he's great.
Great guy, churn out some great music, and the videos are slick.
They are, aren't they? Yeah. So what's this one called?
Heart of Gold, check it.
You know you're always on my mind. I'm gonna make you mine, oh mine. For you are my shining star. And no matter what the future holds, I'm gonna love you with a heart of gold.
There he goes, off into the Californian
he
sunset.
Is he running off?
Well, you say running off, but in fact we've actually got him here, haven't we, Chris?
He's not actually here though.
Where is he?
He's virtually here.
Keith Daniel Washo, say hello.
Hi, I'm here. I'm just so happy to be with you, Steve and Chris. This is awesome. Thanks for letting me call in all the way from sunny California.
This is a show first. We've got a call in, a live call in the show, and I personally feel that, although we don't know how this is going to turn out until the edit, that we haven't screwed up this technology. Like, this seems like it's actually going to work.
This is incredible.
Brilliant.
Honestly, we
Brilliant.
start every podcast like lining up the cameras, and loads of stuff goes wrong. Sometimes we just bail out on all the filming and just go for lunch But this seems to be working.
I think it's Keith's presence.
Maybe you're
Because
holding us together.
You do bring the love, Keith.
I'm feeling the love. I'm bringing the love. You guys sound crystal clear. Sounds like you're in my room. This is fantastic. Life is great. I can't wait to talk to you about everything music and vocals, whatever you need. I'm here. I'm here for you. I'm here for you, baby.
Great. So Keith, bearing in mind that we don't want to call you a soppy American songwriter, but we just did. What makes you do what you do? What makes you produce this great music?
Yes, thank you. The whole sappy songwriter thing is kind of funny because I think sometimes as musicians and songwriters, we're born with a certain style of music that we cannot help writing. And in my case, I cannot help writing love songs. Don't know why, other than I listened to love songs falling asleep when I was in high school on the radio. So here I am writing love songs, and I do it because I can't help it. It's in me. It's in my soul. It comes out. It's something that I would do if I never, ever was paid or made any money. I would do it anyways because I love it. It's one of those things.
And you're quite a scribbler, aren't you, Keith?
I'm a little scribbler. I scribble. I dabble.
You asking if he's doing that right now?
Basically, what I'm saying is put the pen down.
Oh, you were able to hear that. You were able to hear that.
Oh yeah,
It's loud and clear.
Oh yeah, it's ruining the episode. Yeah.
All right, I saw that.
Just joking though. Yeah, love songs. You do them well, and judging by the look of you, I should imagine you've had a few loves in your time.
I have. Still waiting for the one. Still waiting for the final lovey-dovey to get married and have kids. But yeah, I guess in order to write love songs, you have to know and experience what love is. So I definitely been around in that department.
And so, is personal experience the only inspiration you take for your love songs, or do you have a little maybe trick or a bit of advice for someone who's actually struggling for that?
Wow, Chris, great question. Actually, this is kind of a deep question, very, very genuine question. And the truth is, the song For You was written 110% authentically, meaning I sat down and I literally said, this is exactly how I'm feeling. This is exactly what's on my heart. I'm going to write this because it's as true and authentic as it can be. And it came from how I really felt about finding your future one and longing to find your future one. And I said, I don't care what anyone thinks. I'm just going to put it out there. And so I put it out there. And actually, the interesting thing is I learned that by being sincere and authentic and writing what you really, really feel, that interestingly enough, other people are like, oh my God, I totally can relate. I understand that. I feel that way too, which is kind of comforting, right? Otherwise you think you're crazy.
So one of the last questions we have for you, Keith, is what does the future hold? Whether that be the next couple of weeks, months, or years.
So the future holds visiting Steve and Chris in UK.
Okay.
Number one.
That's
getting
done.
some British fries and a pub cheers. What do you call it?
Okay.
That was a cracking attempt. Try again next time.
Okay. Next answer.
Right on.
I'm going to write a few more songs, but in the end of the day, I have 3 songs right now. It's the song For You, it's the song Heart of Gold, and I have a new one called Wholesome with a music video coming out in May, end of this month. And then my goal is to share those songs with the music publishing industry, other artist management companies, and see if these songs someone like to pick these up and run with them. As a songwriter, I'm looking to have someone like Toby Keith or Keith Urban or Tim McGraw take my songs and have them run with them.
We obviously met you at the winter retreat in the San Bernardino Mountains a few months ago. It was all about artistry then, but truly, one of the reasons why you're on here, Keith, is because we look at you and we see that you're making all the right choices. Your reasons for doing things are awesome. The content you're putting out there is great, and we're excited about seeing where you're going to go next, because it seems like you're ticking every box along the way. So we're really thankful to have you on today, Keith. Are we going to see you in July?
That's the plan. I'm looking to come out there. I'm going to, still TBD here. I might be traveling to North Carolina to go visit Raleigh. But if I can make it, I will. But in the same spirit, Steve, I want to let you guys know that it's really an honor to meet people like you who are putting yourselves out there and leading the music industry and helping other musicians and songwriters. And I just want to say thank you for that. And you guys, when I saw you at Vocalize You, it was just... You guys, not only are you hilarious and you're funny, but you're so insightful with your advice that it's just an inspiration. And I want to let you know that I appreciate it, and it's an honor to be on the call with you.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you, Keith.
Can you write a song about us?
Oh, yeah.
I think I will. I think I'll call it Steve, Chris, the best crisscross cool cats in the planet Z.
Could I change that a little bit?
Sure.
Could you put Chris first? Chris, Steve.
I could try that. It might have a different ring to it.
Does.
But,
Bad ring.
Chris might go first. Okay.
More professional, yeah. I think that's what he's saying.
Ring.
Yeah,
Horrible.
But thanks. Like to see how that turns out.
Wow.
Hey, keep up the good work, man. Yeah, like we said, the content's amazing. The videos are really cool as well. So whenever you have new stuff coming out or you're going to be touring, then let us know. We'll let everyone know. And if you're in the UK as well, then we're here to support you.
Thank you, Chris, Steve. I'll be in touch. Keep doing all the good work, and I'll keep following you guys. Thank you for everything. It's a pleasure and honor to talk to you. Thank you.
Cheers, Keith. Take it easy.
Cheers.
There he goes then.
There he goes.
They always just slope off. Lovely bloke, though. Please follow him. Keith Daniel Washo. Enjoyed having him on.
Yeah, I'm excited about seeing where he's going to go and what's going to come out in the future. So that's that. Anything else that you want to talk about today? 21 seconds to go.
21 seconds to go. Excited about going to Switzerland this next week. Going to visit Robin de Haas. Previous podcast guest talked about breathing. Was interested in his concept, so I just kind of said, "Can I come visit you?" Just an excuse to go and hang out on a Swiss lake for 4 days. But we'll be working together on all of his knowledge about breathing. Just so I can.
See if you can get any revelations.
Yeah, I just love going and hanging out with people. Yeah. Who come from a different perspective, and it all feeds into how we perceive our voices and how best we can serve our clients, and that's right at the centre of it. So I'm really excited about that. What's going on with you?
Yeah, we've got to rattle through this, haven't we, really? Thanks to Keith. Well, no, I'm really excited at the moment. I'm a little bit emotional about the fact Singfinity is launched.
What's Singfinity?
Singfinity is something I've been working on for about 18 months. Probably too long. Researching that.
About 3 months' work.
3 weeks. But no, it's just based on, long story short, it's based on working in schools across the past how many years, and it's just seeing how different the kids think depending on where they've come from, what they do, their environments, and just the drastic difference in how they think and the mindsets for life and motivations, what they do, all that kind of stuff. And it's just really driven me to create an environment that benefits all of the children, but just if you, like for example,
No exclusions.
all of the children across the world. Because just one example, different schools, different areas, different socio-economic backgrounds. Yeah, lower end have a different way of thinking too, and it's so apparent the difference between the mindsets to the point where I ask the same question every time, even on one-to-ones. How's your week? Give me one exciting thing that's happened to you the past week. The school that is higher up on that ladder, the kids would be like, yeah, well, I worked on this, I went on holiday, whatever. And the lower side of things will say, I'm ill. I'm ill. And it's like, I didn't ask that question.
Right.
So truly, that really stimulated me to want to do something. And so Singfinity truly is just an environment for no matter who they are and where they come from. Like some kids don't have church, they don't have any guidance, and I'm not religious, but like I see the value in the moral guidance you get from going to church. Different backgrounds.
And almost like the non-negotiable, that's what we're doing on Sunday morning.
Habit forming.
The routine of it, exactly, yeah.
All that stuff. It's massive. Some kids have very little habits, very little purpose, and therefore a little bit lost in this world. Some, on the other end of the spectrum, it's not all doom and gloom. Some kids just haven't found their thing. I'm not saying singing has to be their thing, but it will be forced down their throat. No, but it could be, and at least along the way, even if they reach, this is 8 to 12 to begin with, if they reach 12 years old and they're like, do you know what, I had fun singing, because it will just be purely fun, but it's not for me, I'm going to go and paint. But at least we've instilled some habits,
community,
enhanced character, community, inspired them to think a little different, and that's what it's more about for me. This is personal development, helping kids get a kind of stable grounding if they haven't already got it.
Is there a website? Yeah.
Singfinity.co.uk.
Right on.
Yeah, so head on over. That's Singfinity. A little longer than we should have done, but it's been 18 months, so.
I've got to give it its dues.
Yeah. So here we go. Into the show. Oh, 21 seconds to go.
Oh, 21 seconds to go.
21 days to vocal train.
When do we start?
June.
June the what?
So it's going to be June the 1st.
Diaries.
Look on Facebook, it's going to be on there, but equally follow Snapchat.
We are jamming it down your throat a little bit like Steve's doing with the kids.
Yeah.
Okay, so get involved. Change yourself. Right. Questions. Am I going for it? Right. Hi, boys. I've been a fan and subscriber to your podcast for a long time now. I absolutely love your vids.
That's more like, this is what we're talking about. This is the kind of intro we want, isn't it?
Who was that one before who just
should have scrapped it?
Didn't get on board. I think I might be one of your oldest listeners. Does that mean he's for a long time or he's old?
Good point.
Good, it should clarify. But hopefully that won't stop you answering my question. I'm having a bit of trouble keeping up when I sing with my choir. We sing modern songs and I feel like my voice gets tired quickly. Is it my age? I'm over 50, sorry.
There you go.
He is old. That's not old. Not old.
I like the fact you're calling him he as well, just assuming that.
Viv Shepherd. Does he seem like a bloke? I don't know why I've thought that. Could be Vivian. That's a man's and a girl's name, isn't it? Man, girl.
I've never heard... Well, maybe I shouldn't mean I've never heard of a Vivian man.
Oh, no, I know someone called Vivian. Nothing wrong with it.
Didn't say there was.
Ah. What was John Wayne called? Something like...
Absolutely no idea.
He had a unusual name for a hard-ass cowboy.
Is that how you get away from any awkward situation?
To make it more awkward. Yeah.
Which I'm like,
All names are fine.
Yeah.
Okay?
okay.
Viv Shepherd.
Having trouble with her choir singing.
Him, her, don't know,
Him.
do we?
Oh,
We don't
I
know,
hate
though,
this.
do we? We don't know. Anyway, carry on.
Carry on, give him permission. This is good. I'm excited by this.
One.
This is why we threw this one in here because we got some background, haven't we?
Well, yeah. Both had a long time in choir, but you obviously carrying it on into choir director.
Yeah. This is the first thing I want to say is I think that pop choirs, people underestimate how hard modern or pop singing, choir singing is.
And pop singing in general.
Pop singing in general, but then add all of the aspects of singing in a choir, which you would think would be easier because you're in a mix. But in terms of you as a solo singer and the efficiency of your voice and the health of your voice, I actually think it's a really advanced thing to do, and it's not given the credit that it deserves. Right?
Especially if we're looking for really good polished arrangements, right?
Yep.
Stuff with impact and the intended sentiment.
Intended, which is what's intended for the most part, right?
Yeah.
So why is it advanced? Why is it hard? First thing, you don't sing. You don't know. You can't monitor what it's like to sing with 40 people until you sing with 40 people. Like we get so used to our own surroundings when we're singing on our own, and that's why we can get really good at. Okay, I blow this amount of air. I use this vowel. I adduct this much. All that stuff. But then you throw it into 40 people. You can't hear yourself. Yes. Somebody's singing in your face. People singing different. There's instruction from the front that's asking you for different things. So you're stimulated by that. So you can't monitor it until you do it. Second, the direction itself, the director, they can't gauge everything. They don't know what everyone's background is. They don't know how everyone is singing at that moment in time.
Because let's face it, quite often when the sound's generally the right thing, they're more concerned about how it looks a lot of the time.
Yeah.
If the sound is generally getting there, then the people that make the choir often are the ones that look good on stage as well, that can move well and don't look like...
Yeah, because definitely it's once we've got the vocals done, let's get on to making it look attractive, which is fair. But the individual voices, a lot of the time, the director hasn't got the time, sometimes they've got the ear, whatever, to hear, okay, that she's doing that, which is incorrect. So again, very little, but whilst trying to get a result, which is a strong pop sound result, that's all they probably worry about at the moment in time. How much of a big sound can this choir make? Not how much is it destroying Viv in the back row, right? And then third, we've got to look at the fact that it is an intense pop sound that requires so much precision normally. Again, not without even being with 40 people around you. Fourth, the fact that often in these songs we're using vowels for the style that aren't efficient for the notes that are being sung. And there's a lot of oohs sung in pop choir harmonies. And if you get
an ooh to ah, which on certain pitches is a friggin' nightmare.
Yeah. So if the understanding isn't there for the vowel, here's the thing: you ask a group of girls who are singing that pitch in the middle of their range. So it's going to be around all the tricky notes to sing an ooh. The ones that are a bit more kind of vocally savvy won't sing an ooh because they will adapt it to what is comfortable and still produces a good sound. But there'll be some people in there with different levels of ability trying to hit the ooh because they've been instructed to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the vowel is again, the vowels give all sorts of carnage. And then lastly, normally in these choirs, we're looking at ladies that have had a whole lifetime of singing in classical setting. So they're using their voice in a completely different way than what's required now. And then the expectancy of the more intense sound, I'm not used to doing this. Okay, maybe I have to blow more air to make this happen. Okay, not sure. So it's just carnage.
Yeah, I would like to clarify that. I appreciate you're not just picking on women, like usual. However, the thing about women and men that have come from classical backgrounds is the male classical sound is actually far closer to the pop sound because it is more intense, and that's the point. That was the point of hundreds of years ago, but when classical women come into pop and don't necessarily know how to operate that or achieve that kind of quality, it's usually just polar.
Yeah.
That's where you see like the intensity of the pop music like lose it a bit, don't you?
Yeah.
So it is unfortunate that that's the reality, but yeah, we know that from being in choirs, don't we? The classical movement of females into pop choirs, amateur ones, is quite strong.
Yeah, and you see, and I see it a lot in the choirs that I work with, where you've got ladies saying, I am tired and I can't, and it's disappointing as well not to be able to create the sound that they know is expected. So truly, all that carnage told. It's about acknowledging the fact that it's really hard and gaining a deeper understanding. Again, it's not like take this tablet and it's all going to fix. It's a long game again. Understanding of the voice truly deep down in order to, when you're in that environment, know what you're about.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if in the vocal analysis, I think whenever you put a choir on pop anyway, you start to straddle pop and gospel anyway, don't you? You know what I mean? Like, just the inclusion of 40 people singing means it sounds slightly different. So a choir in a pop sense usually comes with that speech-like quality. Not this quality, but this quality, and maintaining that on higher pitches. And male singers, female singers will know that if you're on the melody line of those choirs, you're going to be singing in the hardest parts of your voice. That's what pop music is these days. You're going to be singing C5, D5, possibly even E5 as the female lead lines. And anything between E4 and A4 for the guys. So if technically you're not at the place where you can make that kind of like, oh, sort of sound, and it has to be like, oh, which in choirs that I was in years ago, that was almost always the case.
Exactly.
You'd have a melody line group, maybe a third of them would be able to sing it as it was intended, with the intensity and the speech quality that it was intended. 2/3 would have to bail, no choice. And when it comes to a really good pop sound, especially in a track that might be like, remember like Anastasia or something like that. It's got a groove. It needs to be like, I'm out of love. It needs to be strong. And if it's not, then it's like, don't get me wrong. We're not knocking the community of being in a choir, but some choir masters out there and a lot of choir singers are actually looking to create this amazing thing. Something that may be a little bit more like different, polished. And in which case, I think the ability to manipulate your voice in a way that gives you that quality, the pop quality on those pitches, it takes technical time. I don't think it necessarily just comes. Right. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So if choir masters are a little bit more savvy in terms of how to help people to find that safely, or singers themselves could seek out material that would help them achieve that sound.
Exactly.
So they can fulfill the director's need for like more. I need it this way.
Exactly. I mean, even to that end where the songs. I mean, key change songs. If you know
Westlife.
Well, yeah, but
your favourite. It's fine.
It was A1.
Oh, sorry.
You say the melody group will often skip over. In the energetic pop songs that we know, we'll skip over into that awful place for a female. So, if you've got the facility to drop the key,
so that more of that melody line actually hits somewhere that they can create that voice quality, but still have intensity.
Yeah, because then you think about it in terms of the stacking of harmonies. There are songs, and you remember this from our days. There are songs where everyone goes, "I love this song," and it feels so good. Funnily enough, most of the time those songs are the songs where they feel comfortable singing with energy.
Yes.
And it's so true. So that's a massive one, a massive point, I think, that if you can make the songs comfortable, then everyone wins. There's a lot more energy. And then stacking up the harmonies, if you've got the melody line there, a third or a fifth below,
it's comfortable.
Again, all three of the lower harmonies are going to be, and then you've got like the high, which normally are going to be girls that have worked into singing in a contemporary way on the high notes well. So they get a chance. A third above that will be around the C sharp area, D. So they can sing the third above and just be like killing it, instead of being up into the stratosphere and singing in some sort of kind of lighter, more classical
Yes.
thing. So it's just shift all. That's just one thing for the, one takeaway for the directors if you want it.
Yeah.
But have you got any more tips for Viv in terms of getting herself more comfortable in her environment?
Yeah, well, do you know what
or his environment? Sorry.
Yeah, or his. Well, do you know what? If it's a guy and 50 years old, or a female, they actually go in different directions, but there could be some changes in the vocal anatomy at that time. Like, if voice use over the past 50 years hasn't been very varied, like if you haven't been singing your whole life, or been exercising and the only thing you ever did was maybe talk, or had a job that was in sales where you use your voice a lot or whatever, like a lot of the female singers can start to get a lower voice. So you could say you're in a choir for 10 years and you were in the soprano group, but after 8 years you found yourself in the alto group, then it's like maybe that is at that age a change in the vocal anatomy, a decrease in mean pitch, which is researched to happen in older females. Whereas the men kind of go the other way. The men's voice is kind of the fibers increase in tension, the muscle fibers of the larynx increase in tension and stiffen, which raises mean pitch. So some of the older gentlemen actually might find that they actually hit the high notes a little bit easier, provided there's no they didn't smoke for years and stuff like that. So there could be a little bit of tiredness coming in from age, and the best you can do with that is to good vocal practices, get to the loud, soft, high and low parts of your range every day in a regime, and you will do your best to defer all those changes in your voice and stay more as you were as a young person. Otherwise, you have to look at which harmony line you're singing. If technically you're singing the melody line in the right voice quality, but you're straining to buggery to get it, you could solve that. You could go to a voice teacher and you could work on less strain of finding that quality in a more easy way. So there's a way forward.
Like you're close enough.
Yeah, you're close enough.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some jaw movements or a couple of weeks of just, pedagogy to sort that out. Who knows? Maybe, and I found this, not about you, but being in the tenor line without actually having very good vocal control back in the day, when it was like, okay, we have to swell, we need a big volume, I would always dig my heels down to okay, oh Lord, like that, as if I thought that was what's required. But going into the high part of the range with that much kind of beltiness, if you like, but going for this deep in your boots sort of one, that's really tiring. Yeah. And I used to do that all the time because the sound to the choir was phenomenal, but the vocal health issues in that are many and splendid, right? So maybe it's time to understand that you don't have to necessarily for volume dig your heels in, take a big breath and heave against the muscle of your voice. Maybe Viv could do with learning some strategies to increase volume in other ways, which could be changing it harmonically, as in instead of a deep sort of yeah, it could be more like a yeah, something a little bit more bright, which can easily become more efficient, which requires less air to sing it, you know what I mean? And the resonance strategies that you can get from vocal coaches as well allow you, and again with opening the mouth, you radiate more energy out to the listener anyway, so maybe you just don't need to open your mouth more.
But that could be a difficult shift for someone if they haven't experienced that before, as we know, because that feeling, it's almost like you feel less. So, they want more and I'm delivering less, and we're not to the crowd, but you feel it.
Yes.
The way you're feeling it less. But
yeah.
So all in all, I mean, I think this is really just about knowing Viv. I love the way that you kind of took that on a kind of male
I just
See,
felt
and
like
I went
it's
female. I just went,
I don't know what that means.
No.
Who we feel we are or who we feel we're attracted to. I don't know.
I think it's just more that I've dealt with a lot more females than quite.
Maybe that's it. Do you know what? There's one thing that's left in there actually that just reminds me, and it's vibrato.
Oh yeah.
And you know, like the pop sound, and as well, very traditional choral.
Gospel.
And pop sound is often without vibrato.
Right. Yeah.
Very straight tones, especially in the choral. It's like, ooh, like you got to straighten it out, right? So often that gets singers in a bit of a tense pickle, right? Trying to resist vibrato. Gospel's different. There's loads of vibrato in it.
Love it.
But the straight pop sound, out and out pop, usually very straight. Pop vocals aren't covered in vibrato. There's some. So having strategies in order to be able to produce a vibrato-less sound without necessarily being really tense, and again driving airflow to straighten out that vibrato. It's another reason why someone would get tired. So I really recommend, looking at getting vocal training if you're close to hitting that melody line but straining, looking at how you increase volume to see if that's the reason for tiredness, vibrato and whether that's being produced well, but also we do have to consider the age still.
Yep.
But general voice training will make all this better anyway, right?
It really will, yeah. And rewind all the way back to the start, and it's just going to be, don't be so hard on yourself, Viv, because it is harder than you think.
It's yes, and it's this is a choir at the end of the day. You don't want to bust your arse over it, but I think if generally every choir member put 30 minutes every couple of days into their voice training, I think the whole choir sound and everyone's enjoyment would increase. Yeah. Of the experience itself.
But you're right. I mean, saying that it's because the way it's perceived is that it is just often for some people it's one thing I'll go to every week, and so it should be fun. It should be enjoyable, and maybe I shouldn't have to invest all this time, but that's often why the investment to not tire yourself out, to get the best sound often isn't there, because it's this kind of paradox between what it is perceived to be for people against what it actually is. That's that.
Okay, Viv, mate.
Lovely lady. Next, 5-minute madness. Have you got your timer?
Oh God, we never stick to it, but I'll put it on anyway.
All right.
Okay.
5-minute madness.
Am I hitting the timer? You read the question first, and then I'll hit it.
Okay. This is from, again, on Snapchat. They're coming in thick and fast. Lisa Marie O.B. Don't think that's her surname, but we'll go with it. Tips for a 14-year-old male student I have whose voice is changing.
Go.
I'm going to start with just understanding what the heck is going on in there. Everything is changing. So the thyroid is growing.
Creating an Adam's apple.
The folds are growing in terms of length and in density, and the young lad's got to deal with that change, even if he had some skills before. He's got, it's like new instrument, right? So
yes,
massive. And then it's also worth talking about the fact that apparently, evolutionary speaking, the reason why we get all this is to attract females.
So technically that makes me more attractive than you then?
Yeah, I think it does.
But it's true, right? The deeper the voice, subliminally, the more impressive the genetics are, right? From a reproductive point of view, can't deny that, right? 5 minutes.
Okay, yes. So, actually, this is another fact that's come from Geneva Williams' book, which we must
plug. We don't get paid for this.
Don't get paid for it.
We don't get paid.
She's a lovely lady, and she's written a cracking book here. Very, very clever lady.
We could probably arrange an affiliate link so we do get paid from people buying this. So that's just for another time.
Honestly, great resource. She's for one thing pulled together so much research for this book, and one of the things is no other part of the young male anatomy will grow by 65% overnight.
Overnight.
You think about that, right? Think about any other.
I'm already thinking about what I'd prefer to grow 65% overnight.
Are you?
Yeah, but voice, yeah. Okay. 5 minutes. That's
another great piece of research that Ginevra has pulled together. It's a common question: is whether the lads should be singing in the upper register when they're going through the transition. And it's said, from all the research, that in fact the boys shouldn't be exclusively singing in their upper register during that time. And
by exclusive, you mean some of their demands on the voice might actually require them to be exclusively
I think
high, like choral stuff.
Choral stuff, yeah. Those boys that have been singing soprano before, and I think that's probably what it's aimed at, right? But yeah, apparently the vocals, like the larynx, is being overworked at that point for the capacity of what it's now got, based on the fact that it's a new structure.
Well, yeah. I mean, you think about that's that thyroretinoid muscle, the vocal cord itself, the deep layers. If that's becoming thick and strong, that tiny little cricothyroid muscle that pulls the thyroid cartilage down and stretches the cord to raise pitch, if that's working against this huge muscle now,
based on the muscle memory that it had 6 months ago,
and all those patterns that you've been instilling for years, no wonder it's going to be working hard, getting tired.
I didn't even like thinking about that, actually.
No, that'd be pretty tricky. And let's face it, if you're a boy in a cathedral choir, and those places are high intensity environments, let me tell you that, there's a lot of competition and expectation, you're going to want to strain your way to the very end before you get dumped out of that choir, aren't you? I guess it's great advice to try and encourage people kids to not do that.
Yeah, absolutely. But equally, I think there is worth in popping up there every now and again. To encourage the balance that we want, that we train with everyone. It's the balance between the notes, the balance between the muscles, whatever. But it's definitely encouraging to go up there every now and again when it feels comfortable.
Yes.
So anything else in terms of actions that Lisa can use?
Well, you've already mentioned one of them, which is try and using more low intensity music. Not super strong belty vocals or anything. Encouraging young singers, to be up and down. Use all of their voice and not exclusively one, like you've already mentioned. The other thing is trying to coach them into embracing what their voice really sounds like when it changes. Because you know what it's like. It starts going a bit mental, and you don't know where you sit, and you don't know whether you're that or that. Oh, what's going on? So you kind of tuck it away. You tuck it away somewhere, and you just keep it there. And I hear this so much with boys who change. They just go right down to the deepest note they can find, and then that's their voice. And for some it will be. For some of them, they will be turning into a very deep sounding guy. But for a lot, it won't be that way. They'll be tucking it into a place that's unnatural physiologically for them, and they'll find that that's going to be harder to train out of over time. Harder for them to find their singing voice and their wonderful freedom and equilibrium if they're digging for their low notes to avoid any cracks or flips at the top. And that's really difficult to find someone's optimum pitch and optimum tone while all this is happening. But it's worth consideration. And the other thing is trying to keep them busy musically, isn't it? Got
about 34 seconds.
You're going to lose the will to live singing with a voice change.
The will.
Like I literally hate. I can't control it. So
because it's just brick walls all over the place.
Yes. Yeah.
Just all over the place.
So look, hitting the piano, not singing unachievable repertoire, playing guitar, keeping them involved in music.
And that's a big one, the repertoire, because a lot of these guys would potentially want to sing, if in contemporary, want to sing Sam Smith, Ed Sheeran, Bruno Mars, and it's just out of the question to obtain the sound that they are obtaining at the stage they're at, because it's just, let's say, this brick wall. So key changing songs is a good approach.
Yes.
And absolutely necessary for a lot of the songs. You try and find a contemporary song that young lads want to sing that doesn't encroach E flat.
Yeah, and also doesn't have like strong sexual words in them as well. It's like, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got a 14-year-old guy who comes in. I want to sing Pillow Talk. Let's not.
Yeah.
Let's not. Let's not talk about getting naked with a girl. You know what I mean? So, contemporary repertoire. Yeah, that's the big challenge. You're right. Finding the right repertoire, contemporary.
Yeah, no sexiness or E flats.
So there's your advice.
Yeah.
All right.
There's any songwriters out there?
Yeah. So to wrap this up, then we've got a special video.
Very special video. Been sent in from our Naked Vocalist community, Mr. Ollie Finn. He slapped it across. Yeah, I mean, this is just random. Second time in, 2 weeks running, we've done this. So hopefully it will continue.
We're going to call it the video of the week / if we remember.
Probably won't happen next time.
Here it is.
For me, it's all about the tongue. That's...
Oh, yeah? Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be taken out of context, that.
Could it?
Don't put it in the teaser. Gonna be weird, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, I didn't think...
Did you not?
No, I
Oh, okay. Just me then.
Funnily enough.
That's it, you just make me look bad on camera, that's fine. I can take it.
Obviously not. Right, let's wrap this up.
Let's do this. Snapchat, Naked Vocalist. Join us, facebook.com/TNV questions. 21 seconds to go.
21 seconds. Yeah, let's do that.
1st of June. All right. See you later, guys.